Live is starting.
The live video starting.
Maybe it started, but I don't think it is.
You know, now we're live. It does all this kind of flash thing.
I
It's
don't
like
know. I never really know when it actually starts. I'm like,
it started.
did it start?
It started.
Maybe it started.
It started. I have a dog right here.
Anyway,
Hello.
hello. I'm Shaman,
I'm Yolanda.
and we are here from Harper Therapy,
Yeah.
which is a practice here in Luz.
Luz, Florida.
And there's one kind of cool thing we do here
Mm-hmm.
that
I think so.
is a little different than a lot of other places.
Mm-hmm.
And we offer individual and couple intensives.
We do.
And it's like this really, really cool format to do some amazing work in a really short period of time, right? And it's something like everybody every year is like, oh, my New Year's resolutions, right? Like, how do I get my New Year's set up? And, by like, by like the 3rd of January, we're all over our New Year's resolutions, right? Like, we failed them all.
Well, here's what I've been thinking. Remember when we were having this conversation about 2020?
Yes.
We were like, oh, 2020 and the future is bright.
It seemed so cool back then, right?
We were like, yeah, it's going to be a year.
Way back in 2019, it seemed like 2020 had so much promise.
It did.
It's
a
big
the
round
future
number.
So bright.
Right?
Yeah. Our daughter graduated in 2020, and that was their whole motto, like 2020 vision for the future.
Oh
all of that stuff, right? And then 2020 happened.
Now we know 2020 and 2021 have been a bunch of crap.
Well, I was about to say, then we thought the same thing about 2021. We were like, oh, this is going to be so different. Right. It's going to, like, we're done with this 2020 thing. It's great.
And then, it's still crap.
Still crap, basically. And, kind of like, people are over it. It's interesting because we've had this conversation in lives that we've done together before. But this is next level. Like, people are.
Yeah, I think things have kind of come off the rails a little bit.
People are over it. We are all exhausted. And here's one of the things that I'm a podcast listener. And I didn't really think about it until I heard an interview with Matthew McConaughey.
You were going to say Matthew McConaughey.
I kind of call him Matthew McConaughey. I do, behind the scenes. But so he was talking about his book that was this huge bestseller.
Talking about Green Lights?
Green Lights, yeah. And he said in the interview that he feels like one of the things that resonated most for people reading the book is the ability to dream.
Right.
And we have lost, we've been swimming in this collective trauma and this collective grief. And part of the grief is that we have lost time and just the way that the world looked before COVID hit and everything that's gone on since then.
Right.
And we're grieving our capacity to dream because we're kind of afraid to.
The loss of that, right? Like we're scared to. Yeah. I'm scared to even think of what I want to do in the next 6 months because
in the future, because every time I get my hopes up.
Right.
So, what if for 2022 we were able to unpack all of that weight, all of that crap that's weighing us down? And actually dream and vision and breathe life back into our lives again.
Right.
COVID or no COVID.
Right. I mean, a certain amount of it is we have to develop some coping skills because COVID doesn't seem to be going away, right?
It's a new way of living.
And we can't perpetually put our life on hold because of, the global pandemic that never seems to want to end. So, yeah, how do we start dreaming and thinking again about the things I want to do and the person I want to be and, all of these things. Like, how do I start to put me back in the center of it all again,
And that really takes, getting out from under all of this collective trauma, this collective grief.
Absolutely.
None of us have gotten by unscathed. It's impacted each of us in whatever way that it has.
Absolutely.
And so an intensive is a great opportunity to do a deep dive to kind of clean the slate from all of that. And what I'm going to say is that one of the things that we're noticing is that not only are people over it, but people are really resonating with the format of the intensive.
Right.
Because I've done 2 consults today.
I know, it's crazy.
On these intensives that we offer.
Mm-hmm.
So people are wanting to get in to get some relief.
In a very quick, impactful way.
In a quick, impactful way, and be able to vision and dream and practice.
Well, and
living a life.
I was gonna say, move on with their lives, right?
Living
like, how do I get back to? I've lived so perpetually under this next crisis,
this
crisis,
fight, flight, freeze response.
Yeah, I mean, we've been
chronic.
like frozen in that, and for people to take a couple of days, and to be able to like process that and put it in its place and say, oh wow, I actually can still live my life, and I can, start thinking about what the future looks like for me, even in that framework of global pandemic and all of that. It's how do we start thinking past that?
Yeah, and it's really allowing us to redefine our experiences of grief and trauma, right? Because before COVID, we might not have put these experiences in that kind of category, but that's exactly what's been going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely been the theme around here is so much grief. Like I wish life wasn't like it was right now. And we're grieving all of these things we've lost, like lost expectations, lost dreams, lost visions and hopes and ideas and
relationships, loved ones,
right?
Jobs, identities, even.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The world is like upside down. Like it's like the world was picked up and like upside down.
And how we react to that and how we process that, feeds so much into that as well. Like it doesn't have to be so upside down for you.
We can turn things right up again. That's the whole point,
right?
So if this is something that is really tugging at your heart, if there's something inside of you that is like stirred and curious about this format, if it's a good fit for you, does what you experience count?
Right.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So give us a call at 813-434-3639. We will set you up with a consultation call.
You talk to her.
To talk through your questions about the experience and whether or not I do think it's a good fit. Because if it's not, then we'll give you some other resources. But just know that this is out there.
Absolutely.
This is out there. And this is created because it's something that I've wanted for myself in my life in the past. So, that's all I got.
That's it, huh?
That's it. That's it. Matthew McConaughey and 2020.
2020. 2021. Now coming up on 2022. And anyway, if you don't hear from us for the rest of the week,
yes,
have a happy holiday.
It's that time of year.
It is.
And again, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And if you're struggling, you are not alone.
Right.
You are not alone. Again, we've been talking about collective grief, collective trauma. That can really be stirred up. Collective grief, or just grief in general, can really be stirred up during the holiday season.
Absolutely.
So you might find parts of it joyous and wonderful, and you might find yourself crying listening to the latest Christmas Carol that's playing, on the radio or whatever. So be gentle with yourselves and be gentle with each other.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, friends.
Bye, guys.